The Secret, by Rhonda Byrne. Introduction. Imagine a man, an experienced pilot, lying in a hospital bed. Just a day before, he was soaring through the sky. Now, the world has shrunk to the four white walls of his room. His plane has crashed. His body is broken. He is completely paralyzed. He can't move. He can't speak. He can't even breathe on his own. His spinal cord is crushed. The first and second vertebrae in his neck are shattered. The doctors deliver their verdict with a heavy heart: he will be a vegetable for the rest of his life. The only thing he'll ever be able to do is blink. This is the reality they see for him. It's a grim picture, a life sentence of silence and stillness. But inside that broken body, the man's mind is still soaring. He hears the doctors, but he chooses to listen to a different voice, a quiet, steady voice from within. While the world outside sees a hopeless case, he begins to paint a different picture in his mind. He sees himself whole. He sees himself breathing on his own. He sees himself walking out of that hospital. That man's name is Morris Goodman, and his story is not one of tragedy, but of triumph. It's a story that defies logic, that baffles medical science, and it serves as one of the most powerful testaments to a force that has been known and used by the greatest minds in history. A force so simple, yet so profound, that it governs every moment of your life, whether you are aware of it or not. This force is the entire subject of a book that took the world by storm, a book born from a moment of profound despair in its author's own life. In 2004, Rhonda Byrne's life had collapsed. She was exhausted, grieving the sudden loss of her father, and her relationships were in turmoil. It was from this rock bottom, this place of greatest despair, that she was handed a gift, a glimpse into this great secret. It came from a 100-year-old book given to her by her daughter. What she discovered sent her on a 2-year journey, tracing this hidden thread back through centuries. She found it in the teachings of Plato, the plays of Shakespeare, the music of Beethoven, the inventions of Edison, and the theories of Einstein. She asked herself, why doesn't everyone know this? Consumed by a burning desire to share it with the world, she created The Secret. This book, and the film that accompanied it, became a global phenomenon, selling over 35 million copies and translated into more than 50 languages. It's a book that promises to hand you the key to the universe, the key to unlocking happiness, health, and wealth. It makes a bold claim that you can have, be, or do anything you want. Today, we're going to explore that claim. We're going to pull back the curtain on this great secret of life. By the end of our time together, you will understand the single, all-powerful law that shapes your existence, and you will learn the simple steps to start using it, intentionally, to create the life you truly desire. This isn't about wishful thinking. This is about understanding the fundamental mechanics of the universe, and your place within it. So, take a deep breath. Let's begin. Book summary. Have you ever wondered what The Secret actually is? For all the talk, all the mystery, it boils down to one of the oldest and most powerful laws in the universe, the law of attraction. It's a simple idea, really. Like attracts like. We see this in the world around us. People with similar interests tend to find each other. But The Secret takes this idea much, much deeper. It says this law doesn't just apply to people, it applies to your thoughts. Whatever you think about, you attract. Whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis is what you will experience in your life. Think of yourself as the most powerful magnet in the universe. More powerful than anything on this planet. And this incredible magnetic power isn't in your hands or your heart. It's emitted through your thoughts. Every single thought you have is a real thing, it's a force. It has a frequency, just like a radio signal. When you think a thought, you send that signal out into the universe. And that signal, like a magnet, attracts other things on the same frequency. And where does it all return? Back to the source. Back to you. You are a human transmission tower, broadcasting a frequency with every thought. Your transmission creates your life, and it creates your world. The pictures you see in your life aren't happening to you. They are the result of the frequency you are broadcasting. If you want to change your life, you don't fight with the pictures you're seeing. You simply change the channel. You change the frequency. And you do that by changing your thoughts. This is where it gets interesting, and for many people, a little confronting. The book makes it clear, everything that is coming into your life, you are attracting. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The wonderful promotion at work, and the unexpected pile of bills. The loving relationships, and the stressful ones. Your life, right now, is a perfect reflection of your past thoughts. If you want to know what you've been thinking about most, just look at your life. The results are all around you. Drive. Joe Vitale, one of the teachers in the book, knows this can be a hard pill to swallow. He says you'll probably want to argue back, I didn't attract that car accident. I didn't attract that difficult client. I definitely didn't attract debt. But the book gently insists, yes, you did. Not consciously, of course. No one would deliberately attract something unwanted. It simply comes from a lack of awareness of the incredible creative power of our thoughts. Most of us attract by default. Our thoughts and feelings are on autopilot, and so our life is brought to us by default. Here's the problem, and it's a big one. Most people are thinking about what they don't want. They worry about debt. They complain about their job. They focus on being sick. They think, I don't want to be late. I don't want to fail this test. I don't want to get into an argument. But the law of attraction is impartial. It's like gravity. It doesn't care if you're a good person or a bad person. If you step off a building, you're going down. The law of attraction doesn't judge what you're thinking as good or bad. It doesn't hear the don't or the not. It just responds to the subject of your thought. When you think, I don't want to be in debt, the universe hears, debt. When you think, I don't want to be sick, the universe hears. When you focus on what you lack, you attract more lack. The law is simply giving you whatever you are thinking about. Period. It's always working, whether you believe in it or not. The moment you become aware of this great law, you wake up. You realize how incredibly powerful you are, that you can literally think your life into existence. Now, your first reaction might be a little panicked. I have to monitor all my thoughts? That sounds exhausting. Researchers say we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. Trying to control every single one would be impossible. But fortunately, there's an easier way. A built-in guidance system. It's your feelings. Your emotions are an incredible gift. They are a feedback mechanism, telling you in an instant what you're thinking. Have you ever been having a perfectly fine day, and then you hear a piece of bad news? You feel that drop in your stomach, right? That feeling is an immediate signal. It's telling you that your thoughts have shifted onto a negative frequency. You have two sets of feelings, good feelings and bad feelings. And you always know the difference. Bad feelings, anger, resentment, guilt, depression, they feel heavy. They feel disempowering. Good feelings, joy, love, gratitude, excitement, they feel light. They make you feel good. Here's the crucial link. It is impossible to feel bad and have good thoughts at the same time. It's also impossible to feel good and have bad thoughts at the same time. Your thoughts always cause your feelings. So, your feelings are the simplest way to know what you're attracting. If you're feeling good, you're on the frequency of attracting more good things into your life. The universe is responding by sending you more situations that will make you feel good. When you feel that joy, that excitement, that love, you are powerfully declaring to the universe, more of this, please. If you're feeling bad, you're on a frequency that is drawing more bad things. It's like your own personal warning system. The universe is communicating back to you, saying, warning, you're thinking negative thoughts. Change frequency now. Manifestation of more bad stuff is imminent. So, your job isn't to control 60,000 thoughts. Your job is to get in tune with how you're feeling. And if you're not feeling good, you know it's time to shift. This is where the idea of secret shifters comes in. A secret shifter is anything that can change your feelings in a snap. Think of a list of things that are guaranteed to make you smile. Maybe it's a beautiful memory. Thinking about a person you love. Your favorite song. A funny video of a cat. Nature. When you find yourself feeling down, frustrated, or worried, turn to one of these. Put on that song. Picture that baby's smile. Go for a walk. Focus on it for just a minute or two. That's often all it takes to shift your focus, change your feelings, and get back onto a good frequency. And of all the feelings you can have, there is one that is the highest, most powerful frequency you can emit. Love. The feeling of love is the ultimate creative force. If you could wrap every thought in love, if you could love everything and everyone, your life would be transformed. When you think unkind thoughts about someone, you only harm yourself. Your thoughts are a signal you send out, and they must return to you. But when you think thoughts of love, guess who receives the benefits? You do. The greater the love you feel and emit, the greater the power you are harnessing. This brings us to one of the most profound questions you can ever ask yourself, a question posed by the great Albert Einstein: is this a friendly universe? Knowing what you now know about the law of attraction, there is only one answer. Yes. The universe is friendly. Because when you believe that, when you feel that, the law of attraction must make it your experience. The universe will conspire for you. It will support you. It will bring all good things to you. You are the creator of your universe. And the law of attraction is your magnificent tool. So, how do you use this tool? How do you go from understanding the law to actually applying it to create the life you want? The book outlines a simple, 3-step guide called the creative process. It's an easy guideline to create what you want, and it's beautifully illustrated with a metaphor we all know: Aladdin and his lamp. Aladdin picks up the lamp, dusts it off, and out pops the genie. And what does the genie always say? Your wish is my command. In this metaphor, you are Aladdin. You're the one who asks for what you want. The genie is the universe, the law of attraction. It is always present, always listening to everything you think, speak, and act. The genie never questions your commands. It assumes that everything you think about is something you want. And it has one, and only one response: your wish is my command. The creative process gives you a simple framework to make your wishes clear. It has 3 steps: ask, believe, and receive. Step 1. Ask. This is your job. You have to make a command to the universe. Let it know what you want. But here's the key: you must get clear. You can't send out a fuzzy, mixed signal and expect a clear result. Bob Proctor, another teacher in the book, suggests you sit down and write it out on a piece of paper. Write it in the present tense. I am so happy and grateful now that, and then describe the life you want in every area. Don't worry about how big it is. Do you want to be a millionaire? What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of relationship do you want? What do you really want? This isn't about being greedy. It's about getting in touch with your own desires. It's like flipping through the universe's catalog and saying, I'd like to have this experience, and I'd like to have that product, and I'd like to have a person like that. You are placing your order with the universe. And you only have to ask once. You don't place an order from a catalog and then, doubting it was received, place the order again and again. You order once, and you trust it's on its way. That brings us to the second, and perhaps most challenging step. Step 2. Believe. You must believe that what you asked for is already yours. This is about having unwavering faith. Believing in the unseen. The moment you ask, you have to know that what you want is yours. You have to feel it. In the moment you ask and believe, the entire universe shifts to bring your desire from the invisible into the visible. This is why you must act, speak, and think as though you are receiving it now. Why? Because the universe is a mirror. The law of attraction is mirroring back your dominant thoughts and feelings. If your thoughts are focused on the fact that you don't have it yet, you will continue to attract not having it yet. You have to get into the feeling of having it already. Think about it. When you book a vacation, you know it's yours. You start telling your friends. You buy a new swimsuit. You don't go and book another vacation for the same time, just in case. You know it's coming. That's the feeling of belief. So, how do you get yourself to that point? Start make-believing. Be like a child. Act as if you have it already. The genie is responding to your thoughts all the time, not just in the moment you ask. Your belief, your undying faith, is your greatest power. A common roadblock here is getting caught up in the how. Most of us have never allowed ourselves to truly want what we want because we can't see how it's going to happen. I want to make $1 million, but I have no idea how to do that. The book is very clear on this. The how is not your job. The how is the domain of the universe. Your job is to focus on the what. The universe will figure out the shortest, fastest, most harmonious way between you and your dream. When you try to figure out the how, you're emitting a frequency of lack of faith. You're telling the universe, I don't really believe you can do this, so I have to control it. Let it go. Trust that the way will be shown to you. Which leads to the final, and most joyful, step. Step 3. Receive. This step is all about feeling. You must feel good. Feel the way you will feel once your desire arrives. Feel it now. This is a feeling universe. If you just intellectually believe something, but you have no corresponding feeling underneath it, you don't have enough power to manifest it. You have to feel it. You wouldn't ask for something unless you thought it would make you feel good to receive it, right? So get yourself on that feel-good frequency now. A fast way to do this is to say to yourself, I am receiving now. I am receiving all the good in my life, now. I am receiving my perfect relationship now. And feel it. Feel it as if you have it. When you're in that state of feeling good, of joy and gratitude, you are on the frequency of receiving. You are a perfect match for the good things you've asked for, and they must come to you. So, to recap the creative process. Ask for what you want. Believe it's already yours. And feel good now to receive it. Now that you have the framework, let's talk about two of the most powerful tools or processes you can use to supercharge this whole experience: gratitude and visualization. Let's start with gratitude. Drive. Joe Vitale says that if you want to turn your life around right now, the very first thing you can do is start making a list of things to be grateful for. This one simple act shifts your energy and your thinking almost instantly. Before the exercise, you might be focused on your problems, your complaints, what you don't have. But when you start focusing on gratitude, you go in a completely different direction. You start to acknowledge all the things you feel good about. Gratitude is the ultimate way to bring more into your life. It's impossible to bring more into your life if you are ungrateful for what you already have. Why? Because the feelings you emit when you're ungrateful, jealousy, resentment, dissatisfaction, are all negative emotions. They can only attract more situations that make you feel that way. Those negative feelings are literally blocking your own good from coming to you. Be grateful for what you have now. As you start to think about all the things you're grateful for, you'll be amazed at the never-ending thoughts that come back to you of more things to be grateful for. The law of attraction receives those grateful thoughts and gives you more just like them. You lock into the frequency of gratitude, and all good things will be yours. A wonderful practice shared in the book is the gratitude rock. Lee Brower tells a story of finding a simple rock and deciding that every time he touched it, he would think of something he was grateful for. He'd put it in his pocket in the morning and empty it out at night. This simple trigger kept him in a constant state of gratitude. He even shared this idea with a man from South Africa, whose son was dying from a rare disease. The man asked for 3 gratitude rocks. Months later, he wrote back that his son was better, and that they had sold over 1,000 gratitude rocks for charity. It's about creating an attitude of gratitude. One of the most powerful ways to use this is to give thanks in advance for what you want. When you're writing down your desires in the ask step, begin each sentence with, "I am so happy and grateful now that." When you give thanks as though you have already received what you want, you are emitting a powerful signal. You're telling the universe that you have it already, because you're feeling the gratitude for it now. You are demonstrating perfect faith. The second powerful process is visualization. Visualization has been taught by great teachers throughout the centuries. The reason it's so powerful is that when you create pictures in your mind of having what you want, you are generating the thoughts and feelings of having it now. Visualization is simply powerfully focused thought in pictures, and it causes equally powerful feelings. You're emitting that powerful frequency out into the universe, and the law of attraction must return those pictures back to you as your reality. There's a fascinating story about the Olympic program. They took athletes and had them run their event only in their mind. They were hooked up to sophisticated biofeedback equipment, and incredibly, the exact same muscles fired in the same sequence as when they were running the race on the track. How is this possible? Because the mind can't distinguish whether you're really doing it or it's just a practice. If you've been there in the mind, you'll go there in the body. Think about every great inventor. The Wright brothers and the airplane. Thomas Edison and the light bulb. The only way anything has ever been created is because one person saw a picture in their mind. They held that picture of the end result, and all the forces of the universe brought it into the world, through them. When you visualize, it's crucial to always dwell on the end result. Don't worry about the process of getting there. Just focus on the outcome. Mike Dooley gives a great exercise. He says, look at the back of your hands. Really look at them. The color of your skin, the freckles, the fingernails. Now, close your eyes and see those same hands wrapping around the steering wheel of your brand new car. The key is to make the experience so real, so holographic, that you feel like you have it already. When you open your eyes, it should feel like a bit of a jolt to be back in your physical room. That's when you know your visualization was real. It's the feeling that creates the attraction, not just the picture. If you're visualizing having what you want but you're still feeling lack, it won't work. You have to put yourself in the feeling place of really being in that car, living in that house, being in that relationship. A wonderful tool for this is a vision board. This is something John Osseroff used with incredible success. He took pictures of things he wanted to achieve or attract, a car, a watch, his dream home, and put them on a board that he would look at every day. He would sit and visualize, getting into the state of having already acquired them. Years later, after several moves, he was unpacking old boxes with his young son. He opened a box containing his old vision boards. On one of them was a picture of a house he had been visualizing 5 years earlier. He was shocked to realize he was living in that exact house. Not a house like it, the very same one. He had bought his dream home, renovated it, and hadn't even consciously realized it was the one from his board. He started to cry, finally understanding the true power of visualization and the law of attraction. So, you have the law, you have the process, and you have the tools. Now, let's see how this applies to the biggest areas of your life: money, relationships, and health. Let's start with money. To attract money, you must focus on wealth. It is impossible to bring more money into your life when you are focused on the lack of it. Focusing on not enough money only creates more circumstances of not having enough money. You have to tip the balance of your thoughts from lack to abundance. Jack Canfield, the co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, shares a powerful story about this. He grew up with a father who believed rich people were evil and that money was hard to come by. Jack carried these limiting beliefs for years. When he was making about $8,000 a year, his mentor, W. Clement Stone, told him to set a goal so big it would blow his mind. Jack said, "I want to make $100,000 in a year." He had no idea how he would do it. But he followed the process. He made a fake $100,000 bill and taped it to his ceiling, so it was the first thing he saw every morning. He would close his eyes and visualize the lifestyle that came with it. For about a month, nothing happened. Then, one day, he had a $100,000 idea. He had a book he'd written. He thought, if I can sell 400,000 copies at $0.25 each, that's $100,000. He didn't know how to sell that many copies. But soon after, he saw the National Enquirer at the supermarket. He'd seen it 1,000,000 times, but this time it jumped out at him. He thought, if their readers knew about my book, surely 400,000 people would buy it. Weeks later, he gave a talk, and a woman approached him. She was a freelance writer who sold stories to, you guessed it, the National Enquirer. The article came out, and his book sales took off. That year, he didn't make $100,000. He made $92,327. But he wasn't disappointed. He was amazed. He and his wife then decided to try for $1 million. Soon after, he received his first royalty check for Chicken Soup for the Soul, $1 million check. The point is to get into the feeling of wealth before you have it. Play games. Pretend your bills are checks. When a bill comes, get excited and say, "Thank you for this money." Imagine adding a zero to the amount. Another powerful technique is to change your language. If the words "I can't afford it" are a part of your vocabulary, you must eliminate them. Every time you say that, the genie says, "Your wish is my command." Instead, for the next 30 days, look at everything you like and say to yourself, "I can afford that. I can buy that." As you see your dream car, say, "I can afford that." You will begin to shift your mindset and feel better about money, and as you do, it will begin to flow into your life. Giving is another powerful action. When you give, you are saying, "I have plenty." The wealthiest people on the planet are the greatest philanthropists. They give vast amounts away, and by the law of attraction, the universe floods even more back to them. If you're thinking, "I don't have enough to give," now you know why you don't have enough. Start giving, even if it's small. As you demonstrate faith in giving, the law will give you more to give. Now, let's turn to relationships. The principles are exactly the same, but the focus is different. When you want to attract a relationship, you must make sure your thoughts, words, and actions don't contradict your desires. There's a wonderful story of a woman who wanted to attract her perfect partner. She did all the right things. She made a detailed list of his qualities and visualized him in her life. But nothing was happening. Then one day, she came home and parked her car right in the middle of her two-car garage. She had a sudden realization. Her actions were contradicting her desire. There was no room for her partner's car. Her actions were powerfully telling the universe, I don't really believe he's coming. So, she immediately started parking on one side. She went into her bedroom and cleared out half her closet to make space for his clothes. She started sleeping on one side of the bed. She was acting as if he was already there. Not long after, she met her perfect partner, and they are now happily married. But the most important relationship the book talks about is the one you have with yourself. Here's a question to consider. Do you treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you? If you don't treat yourself with love and respect, you are emitting a signal that says you are not important, not worthy, not deserving. And you will attract people and situations that confirm that belief. The people are just the effect, your thoughts are the cause. Your job is you. Many of us were taught to put ourselves last, to sacrifice for others. But to sacrifice yourself can only come from a thought of lack. It says, there's not enough for everyone, so I will go without. This doesn't feel good. Unless you fill yourself up first, you have nothing to give anybody. Therefore, it is imperative that you tend to you first. Attend to your joy. When you do what makes you feel good, you are a joy to be around. You become a shining example for everyone in your life. You have to fall in love with you. When you feel bad about yourself, you are blocking all the love and all the good that the universe has for you. You must change your focus and begin to think about all the things that are wonderful about you. Look for the positives. As you focus on them, the law of attraction will show you more great things about you. And when it comes to your relationships with others, especially difficult ones, the advice is the same. Focus on what you appreciate. Take a piece of paper and, for the next 30 days, write down all the things you appreciate about that person. When you focus on acknowledging their strengths, you will get more of them, and the problems will fade away. Finally, let's talk about health. The book proposes a radical idea. Our body is the product of our thoughts. Medical science is beginning to understand the degree to which our thoughts and emotions determine the physical substance and function of our bodies. The placebo effect is a perfect example of the law of attraction in action. A placebo is just a sugar pill, something that supposedly has no effect. But when a patient truly believes the tablet is a cure, they receive what they believe. They are cured. The human mind is the biggest factor in the healing arts. All stress, which drive Ben Johnson calls the cause of all disease, begins with one negative thought. One thought that went unchecked, and then more thoughts came, until stress manifested in the body. But just as negative thoughts can create disease, positive thoughts can create health. Laughter, joy, love, and gratitude can dissolve any disease. Kathy Goodman shares her personal story of being diagnosed with breast cancer. She truly believed in her heart that she was already healed. Every day she would say, "Thank you for my healing." She saw herself as if cancer was never in her body. And one of the main things she did to heal herself was to watch funny movies and just laugh, laugh, laugh. Within 3 months, without any radiation or chemotherapy, the cancer was gone. Disease cannot live in a body that's in a healthy emotional state. Science tells us that our body is constantly replacing its cells. Parts of our body are replaced every day, other parts every few months. Within a few years, you have a brand new physical body. So how can an illness remain for years? It can only be held there by thought, by the observation of the illness, and by the attention given to the illness. If you have a disease, and you're focusing on it, talking about it all the time, you are creating more diseased cells. The book's advice is to see yourself living in a perfectly healthy body. Let the doctor look after the disease, while you focus your mind on perfect health. Incurable, says Drive. John DeMartini, simply means curable from within. This brings us back to the incredible story of Morris Goodman, the miracle man. Lying in that hospital bed, paralyzed, The doctors had given up. But Morris hadn't. He used the only thing he had to work with, his mind. He pictured himself being a normal person again. They said he'd never breathe on his own again. But a little voice kept saying, "Breathe deeply," and eventually, he was weaned off the respirator. They couldn't explain it. He set a goal to walk out of the hospital on Christmas Day. He held that vision in his mind, refusing to allow any distracting or negative thoughts to enter. And on Christmas Day, 1981, he did it. He walked out of the hospital on his own 2 feet. A feat they had said was impossible. His story, and all the others in this book, point to one magnificent truth: there are no limits. Not for money, not for relationships, and not for health. The only limits are in our own minds. And this applies not just to our personal lives, but to the world at large. We are often taught to fight against the things we don't want, fighting poverty, fighting war, fighting drugs. But the book explains that this only creates more of a fight. What you resist, persists. Because when you resist something, you are powerfully focused on it with emotion. The anti-war movement creates more war. The anti-drug movement creates more drugs. Because we're focusing on what we don't want. Mother Teresa was brilliant. She said, "I will never attend an anti-war rally. If you have a peace rally, invite me." She understood. Instead of being anti-war, be pro-peace. Instead of being anti-hunger, be pro-people having more than enough to eat. Energy flows where attention goes. You cannot help the world by focusing on the negative things. As you focus on negative world events, you not only add to them, but you bring more negative things into your own life. Your power lies in focusing on what is wanted. Focus on joy, on abundance, on love. As you feel good, you uplift your own life, and you uplift the world. This raises a common question: if everyone uses the secret, won't we run out of stuff? The book's answer is a resounding number. There is a lie that acts like a virus in the mind of humanity. The lie of limitation. The idea that there's not enough to go around. This lie has people living in fear, greed, and stinginess. And those thoughts become their experience. The truth is, there is more than enough. More than enough creative ideas, more than enough power, more than enough love, more than enough joy. Your ability to think is unlimited, and so the things you can think into existence are unlimited. We don't all want the same car, the same house, or the same experiences. The beauty of it is that there's enough for everyone to have exactly what they want. We are all connected. We are all part of one single energy field, one universal mind. There is no out there and in here. We are one. This is why negative thoughts about someone else only return to harm you. This is why when you compete, you are only competing against yourself. You have to get competition out of your mind and become a creative mind. Focus only on your dreams and your visions. Everything you are is energy. And energy can never be created or destroyed, it only changes form. That means the true essence of you has always been and always will be. You are a spiritual being, an energy field operating in a larger energy field. You are, as the book puts it, God in a physical body. You are the creator, and you are creating the creation of you on this planet. So the real question is, what are you going to do now? You can either keep focusing on the past, on the things that have gone wrong, or you can focus on what you want. When you start focusing on what you don't want falls away. You are the designer of your destiny. You are the author. The pen is in your hand, and the outcome is whatever you choose. And that brings us to the secret to life itself. If you could fill the blackboard of your life with anything you wanted, what would it be? There is no blackboard in the sky where some higher power has written your purpose. Your purpose is what you say it is. Your mission is the mission you give yourself. And what should be your primary aim? Joy. Find your joy and live it. Do only those things which bring you joy. If it ain't fun, don't do it. When you follow your bliss, as the great mythologist Joseph Campbell said, the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. When you pet your cat, you're in a state of joy. When you walk in nature, you're in a state of joy. When you listen to your favorite music, you're in a state of joy. Inner happiness is the fuel of success. Your job is not to change the world. Your job is to find what makes you feel good and to do more of that. As you radiate joy, the law of attraction will pour an avalanche of joyful things, people, and circumstances into your life. The secret, in the end, is within you. You are the power. You are the creator. You are the perfection of life. The earth turns on its orbit for you. The sun rises and sets for you. Every beautiful thing you see is there for you. None of it can exist without you. And now, you know the secret. Commentary. So, what do we take away from all of this? At its heart, The Secret is a book about empowerment. It's a radical call to take 100% responsibility for your life. The central message is that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of them. Your thoughts, your feelings, your focus, these are the tools you use to build your reality, moment by moment. The book's greatest strength is its profound simplicity. The law of attraction: ask, believe, receive, gratitude, visualization. These aren't complex, academic theories. They are simple, practical principles that anyone can start applying today. And perhaps that's why it has resonated with so many millions of people. It takes ancient wisdom, found in spiritual texts and philosophical traditions for thousands of years, and presents it in a way that feels accessible and modern. For someone hearing these ideas for the first time, especially at a young age, it can be life-altering. The realization that you are not powerless, that you have a say in what happens in your life, is one of the most liberating feelings in the world. It shifts you from a passive passenger to the active driver of your own destiny. Now, it's also a book that has faced its share of criticism. Some argue that it oversimplifies complex problems, suggesting that you can just think your way out of poverty or illness. But I believe that's a misunderstanding of the core message. It's not just about thinking. It's about being. It's about changing your entire energetic state. It requires you to align your thoughts, your feelings, and crucially, your actions. As we saw with the woman who cleared her garage, belief without action is often a contradiction. The real magic of The Secret isn't about getting a new car or a bigger house. Those are just byproducts. The real magic is in the personal transformation that happens when you start to live this way. When you commit to managing your thoughts and focusing on gratitude and joy, you become a different person. You become happier, more optimistic, more resilient. You start to see the good in the world and in others. And that, in itself, is a life worth living, regardless of what material things show up. So, how can you start applying this right now, today? Here are 3 simple actions you can take. First, start a gratitude practice. Tonight, before you go to sleep, write down 5 things you are grateful for from your day. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. The warmth of the sun, a good conversation with a friend, a meal you enjoyed. Feel the gratitude as you write. This simple act, done consistently, will begin to rewire your brain to look for the good. Second, pick one small thing you want to attract. Don't start with $1 million. As the book suggests, start with something small, like a cup of coffee or a parking space. Set the intention: I'm going to attract a free cup of coffee today. Then, let it go. Believe it's on its way. This is about proving to yourself that the law works. When it shows up, you'll start to build the faith you need for bigger things. And third, become aware of your words. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to how you speak about yourself and your life. Catch yourself when you say things like "I can't," "I'm so tired," or "I'm broke." Replace them with what you do want. "I can. I am full of energy. Money comes to me easily." You might feel silly at first, but you are actively retraining your mind and changing the signal you're sending out. The Secret isn't just a book, it's an invitation. An invitation to awaken to the magnificent power that lies within you. It's a reminder that you are a creator, endowed with the ability to shape your world. And it all begins with a single thought. That was a summary of The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. We've touched on the main ideas today, but a summary can only ever be a map. It can't replace the journey itself. The true power of a book like this is discovered in the quiet moments of reading, when a story connects with your own experience, or a single sentence lands with a weight you didn't expect. This overview is here to help you see if this book's path is one you want to walk. If any of the ideas we've explored today have sparked something in you, I encourage you to pick up a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that could genuinely change how you see yourself and the world around you. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable and it gave you something to think about, please show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's continue to learn and grow together.